If there's something strange in the National League, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. As it's Halloween night here in the hangar, and thanks to Chris's Spotify playlist, I can say, hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight.
Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck rolls down the ice.
It's hockey night in the hangar for your Saturday evening, as the TSI World Berkshire Bees welcome the Hull Seahawks to town for the first time this year. And as I said, I'm joined by the man with the hockey-themed Spotify playlist, Chris Beale. Chris, how are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm good. Happy Halloween, Joe.
Yeah, Halloween-ish, we'll call it.
Yes, Halloween Eve, I think.
Yes, I think there's a few more eves on the end of that. It being, of course, October 26th, and nobody wants a game in November to be Halloween-themed. The Seahawks have made the trip down from Yorkshire. Game one of a double-header this weekend. These two sides meet back in Hull tomorrow night. The game tonight is for league and cup points on the line tomorrow. Just league points as part of the fun National League setup. Here's the cup table. It's brilliantly brought to you by Nick. The Leeds Knights top of it on 10 points. The Bees languishing at the bottom with 3 points. There's only 3 games left, and depending on where the yellow line is, that yellow line is wrong, Nicholas. It's the top 4 that go through. So everyone from Romford down is looking at Hull. Obviously 6 games in hand, lots of room to work in the cup. In the league table, however, which Nick I'm sure has got fired up, and this one, the yellow line is in the right place. The Leeds Knights were on top. They got taken over by the Milton Keynes Lightning last weekend in their shootout win. The Bees currently sit 8th on 9 points. They just lost to the Bristol Pitbulls last Sunday. Hull Seahawks are 3rd at the moment. They're only 2 points behind the Lightning, with a game in hand on the Leeds Knights above them after their surprise loss in Telford on Sunday. And Chris, Hull losing in Telford on Sunday, it was a shock. It was a shock.
The Seahawks are one of those 3 teams this year that over the last few seasons that have been at the sharp end of the table. They're a team on the rise, I think, that they're building something at the moment, they've always been thereabouts at the end of every season. And they are close. They've got that game in hand on the Knights. They can close up on the Lightning if they get the W tonight.
And the big number there is in the goals for column, 62 in 11, the top scorers in the league, just by 1 over the Milton Keynes Lightning. The Lightning, of course, home to the Swindon Wildcats tonight.
Looking at I'm sorry to have betrayed you, but looking at the NIHL's official stats webpage this evening, not NIHLstats.wordpress.com.
Hey, my notes have gone through the floor. Yeah. My stats have gone through the floor. I don't care.
Hull are actually the league leaders in goals for at the moment, with 5.96 goals a game. Although interestingly, in goals against, they are just a bit close. They are separated from the Bees by 0.01%. It's 3.92 to 3.91 goals against.
And we know the reason why the Bees are so close in that, and we'll get on to him shortly as we have the teams for this evening. Firstly, the home side, the TSI World Berkshire Bees. They line up as 2, Adam Rossbottom, 5, Ollie Nags, 9, Vanya Antonov, 13, Marcus Mitchell, 15, Ty Cathcart, 16, Adam Erskine, 18, Preston Toombs, 19, Will Stead, 21, welcome back Marcel Balaz, 23, Dominic Gabai, 24, Dan Rose, 61, Will Birch, 71, Josh Kelly, 74, Liam Morris, 75, Roman Cathcart, 91, Ollie Hemmings-Mayer, 94, Stuart Mogg, netminders 36, Cameron Frayne, and 42, Max Wright. And Chris, I alluded to it, Max Wright leading the league in save percentage as an import goalie.
Yep, he's up there where I think everybody thought he should be when at the beginning of the season when he first signed and everybody was questioning, was this guy, was this the right signing? He certainly has proved it, even though he's on a team that the Bees haven't had the results go their way, but he's put up the numbers. I think his save percentage is about 90% at the moment.
It's 9-10 if you do it for the old North American way of doing it, and a goals against average 3.54. That's in 11 starts. For the visitors this evening, the Hull Seahawks, they line up as follows. They are 6, Callum McGill, 11, Owen Bruton, 13, Davy Phillips, 14, James Spurr, 15, Jamie Chilcott, 17, Jason Hewitt, 19, Alex Kent, 21, Bobby Chamberlain, 22, Jordan Fisher, 23, Lee Hayward, 44, Cohen Taylor, 56, Tom Stubley, 71, Emil Svek, 74, Lee Bonner, 90, Declan Jones, 96, Owen Sobchak. Netminders 34, Dimitri Zamozra, and 72, Jordan McLaughlin. And Chris, it's hard to talk about the Seahawks without mentioning Owen Sobchak, who has 100 points for the Seahawks in just 38 games.
He has been an absolute... he's been a player who's moved around a little bit in this league, but he seems to have finally found that place where he can settle and produce now in Hull. He's one of 4. Hull currently have 4 of the top 10 point scorers in the league right now. The other 3 being Svech, Chamberlain.
Can you get it?
I think, is it Bonner?
No,
Hewitt.
He's from Sheffield.
Hewitt.
Yes, there we go. Got there eventually. Yes, obviously the Seahawks, I put it in my pre-game notes, offensive juggernaut. You look at the offensive firepower they've got, they go and add Davy Phillips to it over the summer, and all of a sudden you have a power play that scores 1 in 3 chances at the moment this year.
Yep, and that firepower result is basically Leeds Knights have showed it. Firepower is what's going to win you the league, win you the game in this league.
Our officials this evening who have just taken to the ice in the Water Wings of Power, Mr. James Irons and Mr. Hugh Bolton, linesman Mr. Kenny George and Mr. Pavel Olchak. So not only do we have Ghostbusters jerseys, we have referees, and we also have the best sideburns in the NIHL. Hi, Kenny. So we just await the teams to join us on the ice. The Bees are below us. I haven't seen the Seahawks yet, but I'm hoping to God they're not having a kit clash tonight.
Please not white with gold trim.
Please not white with gold
trim.
And while we're going with things to not do from last time, Chris, we got in a lot of trouble last time, so we're not going to mention the river that runs through Hull.
Right.
We got a lot of nasty comments about that last time, so we're going to avoid it at all cost.
Okay, do not talk about rivers this evening. Got it.
That's
half my material, though.
Well, think of some Halloween ones and quick. As we await the teams joining us this evening. I say game 1 of 2 for the weekend between the two sides. We'll have updates on the other 4 games in the National League this evening. We're the first game to kick off in town, a 6:30 face-off. The other 4 all starting at 7.
Black jerseys with white lettering, so we're good.
Oh, thank God. It's always a nightmare with Halloween jerseys that the teams forget to talk to each other.
Especially considering you're wearing that purge mask for this.
I'm wearing it for now. No one needs to know. Producer Nick won't let me commentate in it. Because he's mean and has for some reason turned into Scrooge at Halloween instead of
turned
Christmas.
into Scrooge early. Christmas is not for another 2 months.
Unfortunately, we are going to have a lot of Halloween-themed music this evening.
And jokes.
Not all of it is going to be good. It's going to be a nightmare on Monton Lane. Can you tell we're improvising due to the amount of time that Hull are taking to get on the ice here now?
Because there are Hull players down below.
I know there's going to be a very angry Steve Berry, well, patrolling around the rink somewhere.
With his watch.
With his watch, tapping it.
Although there is still a minute on the countdown.
Yes, but they were supposed to be out 2 minutes ago.
Well, it looks like most of the...
As the Bees are coming out anyway. As Max Wright leads the Berkshire Bees out for tonight's game. Dimitri Zamolsha leads out the Seahawks. We'll be back with you after the national anthem in about 2 minutes' time.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can ask everyone to please stand. Last year, on Saturday the 28th of October 2023, Nottingham Panthers forward Adam Johnson tragically lost his life during the Elite League Challenge Cup game. As we pay tribute to Adam, the thoughts of everyone connected to the Planet Ice National Ice Hockey League continue to be with Adam's family, friends and teammates. Adam, Nottingham Panthers 47, was an outstanding ice hockey player, a great teammate and an incredible person with his whole life ahead of him. 1 year on, Nottingham and the whole of the British ice hockey community dearly miss Adam and will never forget him. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you're able to and join the coaches, players and officials as we celebrate Adam's life with a minute's applause following by the playing of the national anthem.
As we get ready for your Saturday night's main event between the Berkshire Bees and the Hull Seahawks. Starting netminder this evening for the home side, the Berkshire Bees, it's number 42, Max Wright. He has 11 starts on the season, a 4-6-1 record. Leads the league with a 9-10 save percentage so far and 3.54 goals against average. At the other end of the rink for the Hull Seahawks, all hail the demigod. Dimitri Zamozdra starts in net. 6 starts on the year as the netminders split time. He has a 3-2-1 record on the year, an 8.78 save percentage, 3.93 goals against average, and comes into tonight with 94 National League wins. Chris, in terms of netminders, it's very much a case of the league's best at the moment in Max Wright, and arguably one of the league's most consistent over the last decade at the other end.
Yep, that's and consistency is the key, obviously, if you're a netminder. And Max has been consistent in these last few. Sorry, I'm 2 weeks off. I'm rusty. But Dimitri's been steadily progressing, showing that consistency that you need from a netminder to stay at this level. So this could be very much an interesting goaltending battle, but it's all going to be down to as well if the Bees can maintain that defensive discipline that we've seen improve in recent weeks. That we've seen them in several games keep the goals down in front of Max Wright, because you're going up against a very stacked offense that, based on what I've seen on the video, they like to hit shots from high in the face-off circles. They like to try the tic-tac-toe plays and move the puck across, move the goalie out of position, and Max is going to have to really be on that.
Obviously, it's quite easy to have a 9-10 save percentage when you're facing an average of 39 shots a night, like Max Wright is at the moment. So what you really want to boost your numbers up a bit more? A team in the Hull Seahawks that is averaging 42.5 shots per game. Annoyingly, they also convert them. 13% shooting success rate as...
I think somebody's missing their net guard, because we've got...
Yeah, there's conversations going on the bench, of the Seahawks bench, I should say.
I saw one of the referees basically making a motion to it around his neck.
I think 2 of them have gone now as well for the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's definitely net guard related.
Yes, which considering the start of tonight and the minutes of pause in memory of Adam Johnson, it feels...
Well, it's good to see the official, considering obviously that we've had a minute's applause in honour of Adam Johnson. It's good to see the officials on that, making sure that is looked after, as the puck will be dropped and we are away.
So I was distracted. I thought Producer Annika was wearing Mickey ears. They weren't very Halloween. And the Seahawks win the opening puck drop. The Bees get control of their own blue line. Ballas just flips it out of the zone. Played ahead. Mitchell Back to collect, tipped on ahead, intercepted by Bruton. Obviously, the Seahawks missing Johnny Corneal tonight. Game 2 of his suspension. He'll be back next Saturday for the Seahawks. I'll have to wait for the next game to talk about him, as Balaz carries the puck over the blue line. Fires a shot, but that's blocked in front by 3 Seahawks. Lost edge behind the play as well. Mitchell gets it at centre ice, finds Hemmings-Mayer. Both teams some scrappy changes. Antonov able to jump ahead of Hayward on the puck. Cleared all the way back to Morris at the blue line. Down low, grabbed by Phillips. Block shot from Morris. Blocked in front by Svek.
Vanya was lining up Phillips for a hit there. I thought that's like throwing a pebble against a mountain.
I'm telling you, said that. Rossbottom drops it off for Morris. Flips ahead, takes a hit as he skates to the bench, loses a stick in the process. Seahawks with it. Played up the boards, Hewitt. Cross-ice pass finds Sobchak, takes a deflection up high into the zone. That'll wash any icing call off. Nog gets there ahead of Svek. Clyde just about clears line. Pass picked off by Rossbottom in neutral ice. He will return to Nags. Nog up the boards, tipped ahead by Kabay. Rossbottom gives chase. He won't be able to beat Taylor to the puck. Kicked into the corner, one of the first stoppage of the night. 2 minutes gone, and not the most exciting first 2 minutes of the game.
No, I don't know if that was icing. I swear I heard it make contact with Kent on the way through, but it's going the other way. It's typical opening phase though. Both sides trying to figure out, obviously Hull trying to figure out how to play their game on this rink. Bees being very active with the physical stuff, but the Seahawks have everything covered off that the Bees are trying at the moment.
Bees win the draw. Straight pass takes it out of the zone. Kelly is back there. Pass tipped on ahead by Birch. Played ahead to Jones for the Seahawks. That one called icing, I suppose, just at the wrong side of the red line for the Seahawks. They'll be stuck once again.
I mean, that's something the Seahawks are going to have to adjust to here in this rink. I think it's something that catches a lot of teams that come here and play here. If you're not the home team here, that neutral zone is a lot tighter, a lot smaller. It's actually in this opening phase, it is working hard against both teams. That both teams are struggling at the moment with a very active neutral zone trying to get through.
Seahawks win the draw. And around the boards, Kenny able to block it off. Chipped clear, Seahawks just can't get it out of the zone. They can now at least get 2 players changed. Kelly takes a hit from Kent. Kent comes off the worst. Josh can be on the receiving end of a big hit last week, and a big fight as well. Didn't last long, but it was fun while it lasted. Hayward collects the puck, given away. Balaz gets under control, spins, fires, taken away. 2 Bees collide into each other in Balaz and Hemmings-Mayer. Seahawks up the left hand wall. Bruton spins away from the check. Dropped off to Stubley, pinching in from the blue line. Sobchak with a chance in front. Wright covers it up eventually. He'll hold on. And the Seahawks, 2 men crashing the net. They're interested in on the first real chance of the game for them. Go to the goal, good things happen.
I think in a tight rink like this, with the way the Seahawks generally play their game, that's going to be one of the best ways for them to try and get something past right.
Face off, won by the Seahawks. Thrown back to the blue line. Hemmings-Mayer closes that down and stops Chilcott's pass. Antonov jumps on a loose puck, shot from a tight angle off the shoulder as Zamol's returned over in front. Antonov able to shovel it under the armpit as Zamol's but he holds on.
Really good by Antonov, though. They're following in his shot, looking for that loose puck, that rebound chance. And that was a good release there as well, getting him down the wing.
I think Danny's already run out of music at 3 songs. Face off to the right of Zimolja once we've had some more words from James Irons to the Seahawks bench. Won by the Bees, back to Mags at the blue line. Mogg looking for an option, plays it off the boards, into the corner. Seahawks come away with the puck. Fired clear, that one will be icing, we'll go all the way back.
This is the puzzle to solve at the moment for both sides. The Bees need to figure out a way to make that third and that fourth pass work in the offensive zone, while Hull need to figure out a way to find an outlet. Yeah, they can't keep icing it, and there is now another discussion going on down at the bench with one of our officials, and I assume it's again about net guards.
James Irons has been on it from the moment they came out, and they're still having conversations.
There is, I'm not sure who it is, but there's somebody adjusting and readjusting his net guard. I'm not sure whether he's trying to claim that it doesn't fit properly or.
Bees win the draw. Mogg thrown down low. Battle against the boards, comes all the way back to Mogg, so he goes back to his right D position. Thrown down low again, Phillips is there. Through neutralised, kicked on ahead, that will should wash off any icing call, and it does that time. Puck bounces away from Rossbond, goes all the way back into the Seahawks zone when McGill collects. Mishandle there from Hewitt. Goodbye gets dropped, Wilstead has a shot, and that one goes in! And the Bees take the lead. 4-19, and I had a halo this a couple of weeks ago, but I think it's Wilstead. Here's me getting proved wrong. If it is, it's his 6th of the year.
If this is Marcel Ballas.
Oh, please.
But I mean, this game has been all in the neutral zone. It's all been about forced turnovers and turnovers. Bees forced the turnover. Stead in on net, alone against Zimolja, and he scores. And Joe is celebrating, not because the Bees are 1-0 up, but because it was Wilstead this time.
I'm not blind this week. Goodbye taking the hit there before it to make the pass over to Stead. Big hit against the boards. Knocks the puck loose. Kelly back there to collect. Cathcart thrown at the right-hand side. Foot race to it. Cohen Taylor beats out. Quite see who that is from over here. I think it's Will Birch. Thrown towards goal. Icing called on that one. No, offside is called on that, I think.
Yeah, Jones was about a mile offside, I think.
Stead from Goodbye from Mogg is the Bees' first goal of the evening.
And Ballas is nowhere near that one.
Thank the Lord. Don Goodbye extends his point streak to 8 games. That one, not exactly difficult when you're Don Goodbye.
He's James Irons almost taken out by that slap shot.
Puck thrown in on goal by Alex Kent. Right covers up. That will, more importantly for anything for the Seahawks, get a line change in.
And it will also get them down the other end of the ice, which is something at the moment they're still really struggling to. I mean, they are sometimes getting across the blue line, but they're not really getting in position to get a good chance on them.
Face off in the left hand of the zone, won by the Seahawks. Subtract back, loose in front of Bobby Chamberlain, who goes 5-hole on Max Wright. And speaking of goal streaks, Bobby Chamberlain gets his 11th of the year. And the Seahawks tie it up quickly, 4:59.
Well, commentators curse strikes here. Bobby Chamberlain collects the puck in front and slams it home 5-hole after I had just been saying how the Seahawks were struggling to get on net.
See, not so nice when it happens to you, is it?
No, I know.
Chamberlain just allowed the freedom between the hash marks to fire home. Point number 22 on the season for him.
I'm sure right now someone at home is drawing up a meme of how I'm just, my Halloween costume this year is pretending to be an analyst.
Chamberlain from Bruton and Sobchak, the Seahawks' first goal. Bees try and clear, kicked back into the zone. Only as far as Morris, once again blocked at the blue line. Loose into the far corner. Sobchak gets there ahead of Mitchell. That's a mismatch. Chamberlain back up to the blue line, almost the blind edge in front. Natke does create the turnover. Ballas collects the puck. Can't find Hemmings Mate. Antonov ghosting behind it, fires back to Ballas. Stick handle, lovely work from Marcel Ballas, goes to the front of the net, and a big save from Zimolja. almost highlight reel from Balaz on his return to the lineup.
Yep, almost highlight reel there from Balaz. Takes Antonov taking the hit out by the boards to get the play out to the middle here. And Balaz there just using all his physicality to muscle that puck one-handed almost to the net with at least 2 Seahawks defensemen all over him.
5:39 gone in the first. Face off to the left of Zamolsdra. Won by the Bees once more. Shot fired towards goal. Zamolsdra doesn't know where it is. And there's some confusion as to what's gone on.
I don't know whether you call man in the crease here, because there was a Bees player there on the doorstep trying to sweep it home, but I'm not sure who knocked it off.
Well, let's see if Nick has an answer for what just happened there. The shot comes in.
Zamolsdra, he thinks it's in its 5-hole.
It's behind him, and that's very good work from Jamie Chilcott to carry the Bees forward into the goal.
Yeah.
It stops a certain second for the Bees.
That's very, very good defensive positioning there from Chilcott to deny that.
Nothing wrong with that one.
No. Certain referees might see that as a delay of game tactic, but you know that's the risk you take on a play like that. You've got to try and stop the Bees player from getting that, just sweeping home one of the easiest goals they could possibly score.
So this one the draw and clear. Mogg up to Rossbottom, flips ahead to Stead. Cuts inside, a hit from Phillips. Bouncing puck carried back out into the neutral zone by Goodbye. Spins away from Hewitt, finds Stead again. Kept in by Nags that time. Tries to toe drag his way round Bonner. Good work between Nags and Rossbottom. Creates a bit of space. Shot blasted well wide from Goodbye on that one. Mogg shot kicked aside by Zamolsdra. Puck dropped off to Nags. He'll fire from way outside. Save that time. Nags. Down low, loses the puck. Svek will be first over to it. That breakout blocked by Goodbye, finds Rossbottom. Ducks inside Phillips. Drops it off to Stead on the far side. Brilliant back checking there from, I believe, Lee Bonner.
Just a bit of an unfortunate bit of timing there as Chambers. So that's Svek.
Svek coming through. Good poke check from Mogg. Bees away again the other way. Rossbottom sets Stead on his horse, and a good stop by Callum McGill at the other end. Stead still with it. Cathcart pinching in off the blue line, I think, for that one. No, it was Erskine, sorry. 15-16, getting them mixed up.
It's really good cover, though, here by the Bees. When every single time a Seahawks player pokes the puck off them, there always seems to be a Bees player just waiting to collect that poked puck. The Seahawks really need to get on this and start upping that defensive coverage.
Spur collects the puck in the Bees zone. Over to Jones. Backhanded towards goal, blocked in front. Behind the goal now. Rose finally able to get it away, finds Birch. His clearance kept in at the blue line, shot through traffic. Into the glove of Wright, he'll hold on. 12-16 to go in the first.
Wright could see that all day. There wasn't really much in the way of traffic between him and the shot there, as we can see. Open alley between the shooter and Max Wright's glove. Face off now here in the B zone.
Yep, once by Bobby Chamberlain, but Ollie Hemmings-Mayer jumps on it. Odd man rush the other way. Antonov furiously back checking Aaron Bruton, tries to get in the way. Antonov on one leg, fires wide. Seahawks chip it ahead. Chamberlain collects. Spins away from Hemmings-Mayer. Good work by Hemmings-Mayer. Stops that rush. Bruton collects the puck. Back up to the blue line. Solchak lets that one go. There's a scramble in front of the net between Chamberlain and Morris.
Chamberlain wants a penalty there because, sorry to say it, Morris did tap him in the back of the leg.
Yep.
Are we going to get one actually?
No, it was offside as Chamberlain was a bit slow to get back into neutral ice. And the offside is going to go all the way for some reason.
I think that's probably because obviously Chamberlain was remonstrating with the ref that that Morris should probably be going to the box. So he wasn't really in a hurry to get out of the zone, unfortunately.
So the face-off will be in the Seahawks zone, won by the Bees. Mitchell thrown around the boards, definitely up. Plan tonight for the Bees. Not sure what the plan is for that one as the Seahawks turn the puck over. Fired up ice Foot race between Mitchell and Sobchak. Mitchell does a good job of getting ahead of him with the stick lift.
I think the game plan seems to be by the Bees exploit their speed to get that man at the half boards and then get it out to somebody waiting in the centre.
Antonov pokes the puck away from Hayward and sends the Seahawks back. Thrown cross ice, icing waved off on that one. Rossbottom tries to clear, but it's good work from Hayward to prevent the breakout. Stead off the boards, blocked by Hewitt. Bonner can't get around Mogg. Seahawks return the puck, bounce off of the Dawes here. Rink takes it away from right. Shot coming in from the hash marks. Deflected down low. No look pass from Svek straight through the slot. No one in a Seahawks jersey there for him. Henning Mayer's able to clear. More coming together between players so far. Henning Mayer and Bonner on that one. Back in the corner. Bees will clear. Foot race between Antonov and Chilcott. Chilcott gets there first, but it's good work from Antonov just to apply pressure, and it's going to cause a nice goal. No, Wright has to come out of his net to play it, so that's going to wash that off. Svek down low. Cathcart tries to play before Hewitt, ends up getting his legs in a muddle there. Hewitt's pass is wayward, and frustration starting to show from the Seahawks forwards as we tick over halfway through the first.
Well, it's understandable. I mean, like I said, they're really struggling to get them. Kent and Kelly get tangled up in front of the net there.
There's a history on that one from last year.
Ooh.
A hit from Alex Kent on Josh Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
Here cost him 3 months of his season.
Well, but you play. I mean, there you play to the whistle. The whistle hasn't gone.
Face off won by Spur.
But at the risk of jinxing things, like the Seahawks offense, it's understandable that they're frustrated because they're not getting the zonal entry. They're not getting the time in the offensive zone that they need at the moment.
Played off the boards, tipped ahead by Kent. Foot race to it, won by Cathcart. The Seahawks change. Roman Cathcart now. Always fun when they put both of them on the same line.
Cathcart from Cathcart.
That's going to happen at some point. If it's tonight, good luck. Morris misses with that hit, I'm going to say it. It's received well by the fans, but he missed.
I think he winged him a little bit, or at least knocked the threat knocked him off balance. But.
Held up against the penalty boxes. Balaz just trying to shove the puck along. He's lost the puck. Little chip and chase from Bruton. Can't get on the end of it though. Mitchell able to clear. Only as far as Stubley. Sobchak almost. The brilliant pass over to Chamberlain. Hayward again. He'll find Sobchak in front. Shot saved by Wright. Loose puck in front. Chamberlain can't spin and get on the end of it. Antonov will carry it all the way over centre ice. He's going to take a hit. Evades it somewhat. Throws it into the opposite corner. Lucky Mance takes it to goodbye. Loses the handle.
I think Vanya had the heads up there. He saw it lining up and stopped up, looked for the pass.
Seahawks the other way. Sobchak again. Mitchell passes it over to Chamberlain. Back to Sobchak. Up to the high man. Tip in front.
Somebody's lost the stick.
It looks like it's Will Stead in front.
It is.
He runs off to get a new one quickly. Puck back up to the blue line. To the Seahawks. Shot blocked by Will Stead as he collects the stick and throws himself in front of that one. Pass not quite to take that time from, I believe that's Jamie Chilcott on that one. And the Bees will take it behind the goal as both teams change.
Credit to Stead, he's taken that shot block and he stayed out on this shift. Morris is just looking, I think he's just letting everybody get their change in, which now has happened.
Setting up a play. Antonov tips that one ahead. Hennings Mayer able to get there ahead of McGill. Antonov forced away from goal by Taylor. James Irons launches a stick cross ice to the Bees bench. Seahawks clear any trouble. One-on-one chance. Lovely little move from Lee Bonner to get around Ollie Nags. A bit too much power on it though, as he can't get there ahead of the goal line. Svek. It's dispossessed by Balance. He finds Hennings Mayer. Room to work for the young forward. Takes a hit from Cohen Taylor as he throws it into the corner. whistle goes. I believe it's come off the lighting rig above the benches on this near side. You can't quite see it on the camera, but trust us, it's there. 7 minutes to go in the first. Chris, this first period has been played at a frenetic pace.
Yeah, I mean, well, one of the things I kind of noticed going into this was that if you play at this kind of pace against the Seahawks, you can score against it. And we've seen it. The Bees have this they're playing this frenetic, high energy, high tempo. They're throwing hits. They're taking hits to make the plays, and it's frustrating the Seahawks because their offense is just getting to that blue line, and it's either being forced to ice the puck, or it's being forced to ice the puck from the neutral zone, or it's getting to the blue line and being forced to dump it in and then hoping that they can recover it in the corner battles. And that's the other thing at the moment. The Bees are winning a lot of the battles along the boards.
Another puck bounces up off a glove on the Seahawks bench, so we'll stay inside for this face-off as well. Nothing says Halloween like a bit of ABBA.
James Irons is not happy about something.
The Bees trying to change, and he's sent back. The Bees went to try and change forward lines. Face off to the right of Zimolstra. Won by the Seahawks. Played up to Svek on the left-hand side. He will skate straight at Stuart Mogg, thrown on goal, right with the first save, right with the second one as Hewitt pinches in off the right wing. Nags, thrown clear, turned over at the blue line. Hewitt finds Bonner somehow. Bonner on the backhand, in front of Svek, kick save right. Nags collects the puck, takes a big hit from Bonner. And Jason Hewitt takes a tripping penalty at the Bees bench. 13:41, the Bees are heading on the power play. 2 minutes for tripping on Jason Hewitt. Here's that save.
Brilliant,
Wright.
and just brilliant awareness by Wright to know that Svech was going to be coming in there at the back post.
So 13:41, time of the penalty. Bees head to the man advantage. It's a man advantage that has been bad to start the year. 9 power play goals, 16.36 success rate. The Seahawks penalty kill has given up 11 goals on the year, 81.97 success rate. The Bees, 4 of those 9 power play goals have come from Marcel Ballard. When he wasn't here last Sunday, it was noticeable on the power play where the Bees went 0 for 6.
Bees are going to need to keep doing what they've been doing the whole game here, just move this at a frenetic pace, and there's a turnover to the Seahawks.
It's flipped ahead after the bad pass from Gabai. Mogg gets there ahead of Spur. Finds Balaz. Steps inside Jones, throws it across to Gabai. Gabai goes for the little pass to Antonov. He was already moving off to the right-hand wing. It's turned over, Seahawks clear, right out of his net to play the puck. Mogg starts the rush, 1:10 left on the man advantage as Balaz has stopped his own blue line by Lee Bonner. Bonner gets past Mogg, fires the shot, that's off the tip of the glove of Wright. And Bees will break the other way as the Seahawks change. Antonov up the right-hand side, little stop and go, cuts into the middle. He turns and fires to Gabai. Gabai down low, broken up by Phillips. Nags at the blue line. Gabai thrown on net, off the pads of Zimolstra. Seahawks clear.
40 seconds left in this penalty.
Both teams getting changes in as Nags goes back to collect the puck. Nags up to Morris, that pass behind him, thrown on goal. Wright will glove that down. And with 20 seconds left on the man advantage, and you get a feeling that's that. Carried over centre ice by Dan Rose, and that is offside as the puck is sent back and Rose carried into the zone.
All of a sudden, Bees struggling to just string a few passes together here. Seahawks have done a really good job though on that last PK, on this PK of closing off that. Vanya's trying to make that move to the outside along the boards. They've worked that out. They're closing that off every single time.
I think it's a problem akin to your beloved Toronto Maple Leafs at the moment at the start of the year, where loading up the top power play line does not work.
I mean, everything's a problem for my Toronto Maple Leafs.
Seahawks kill the penalty. Puck behind the Bees net with Bonner as he loses out to Morris. Fired up to Rossbottom. Little pick play in front as Roscoe carries it into the B zone. Ankle breaker there on the Seahawks D-man, but the Seahawks get the puck. Thrown cross ice to Hewitt as he's out of the box, I should say. Chilcott fakes a shot, dumps it down low. Bonner can't get there. Hewitt towards goal and Emil Speck. He's met by Dan Rose. Big hit delivered on Morris, and that's arm in the air again as well.
I think that's...
And Emil Speck is heading to the box. 2 minutes for boarding is the call on Speck there. 16-21.
I mean, it's not the worst boarding I've ever seen, but it's definitely a boarding in my book. It's a bit awkward.
I will say this: Speck isn't exactly contesting that one either.
No.
It is a board. It's not a vicious one, which is what we do like to see if you're going to do it.
If you're going to board someone, board them safely.
Yes. Do it gently. Owen Sobchak asking for an explanation from James Irons again. I believe this is still about the neck guards, just from the way that the hand movements are going.
It's like constantly the Sobchak's hand is constantly going to his neck. If it gets bad enough, Irons can issue an illegal equipment.
I was about to say,
penalty,
is it not an illegal equipment penalty?
Yeah.
Bees win the draw. Balaz. We have another goal on the power play. It's been somewhat stagnant the last couple of weeks. Cycled around. Mog. Over to Balaz. Goodbye. Right over to Balaz. Balaz shot through traffic. Loose in front as Zamosdra makes the save. 2 men screen in front. And the Seahawks clear. Right, settles it down. Goodbye, collects the puck, drops it off for Mog. Over to Goodbye, goes cross ice, batted down initially by Fisher. And that will...
That was almost offside, that one.
Foot race to the puck. One by Goodbye ahead of Hewitt, drops it off for Antonov. Fired up ice to Goodbye. Over to Balaz. Odd man rush again. Balaz just behind Antonov. Antonov finds Balaz in the crease, and it's wide of his stick and wide of the goal.
And just two really, like, if the timing had been just that little bit earlier on both of them, Vanya could have had a quick snap one-timer into an open cage.
Down low again. Balaz draws Stubley over to him. Loses the handle on the puck. Seahawks will clear. 30 seconds left on the Svek minor.
Bees will change, send out the second power play unit.
Mog will hold on. Morris at the right hand wall again. Stopped immediately. Seahawks try and break in short-handed. Chilcott holding off Hemmings-Mayer. Poked away. Mog tries to run around the board. Instead fakes it out and fakes me out and drops it off for Morris. That will do it for another rather disappointing Bees power play. 9 for 57 now. Chamberlain flips it on ahead, 90 seconds to go in the period. Bruton can't get on the end of that one as Morris clears. Offside called.
I mean, the first power play unit, they did a good job of moving it around, but they need to they need to be better at moving it around in a way that generates a chance. They weren't really stretching the defense or Zamodra in any way, dangerous way, really.
Face off in the B zone. Been mostly where the Seahawks have generated chances so far. Everyone loves a fake puck drop. And Balaz wins the draw at the second time of asking. Nags collects under pressure from Sobchak, fired up to Antonov. Bees clear the zone. Moves around, Balaz gets there ahead of Bruton again. Bruton with a good stick with there, prevents a breakout play for the home side. Sobchak almost runs into McGill. Seahawks, McGill, pass blocked by Antonov. Antonov to the front of the net, poke checked away as we enter the final minute of the first period. Over to the left-hand side, Seahawks into the zone. Sobchak again on the backhand, fired across goal. Big block by Liam Morris. He didn't know where it was. It's gone up into the netting. Bobby Chamberlain lurking on the face-off dot. Morris with another big block there.
It's been the thing during this game. Like defensively, you really, as a coach, you really need your team to buy in on the shot blocking, and that's exactly what the Bees have been doing during this first period.
39 seconds to go. Face off won by Gabai. Morris throws it around the boards. Stead met by Bonner. Svek tries to get away from Gabai. He's able to. Mog will be the first man there. Fired across to Kelly. Hemmingsmayer. I should say Rose actually on that one. I just saw the hair out the back of the helmet. Hewitt is back to collect the pucks. We tick so 10 seconds left. I think the Seahawks might just try and hold it. No, they're not. They're going to tip it on the head. Svek keeps it at the blue line, and that will be the end of the first period. A first period where the Bees took an early lead thanks to Will Stead. An insta reply, however, from Bobby Chamberlain left alone between the hash marks sees us end the first period at 1 apiece. And Chris, it's maybe not been the cleanest game in terms of just a lot of mistakes from both sides when it comes to puck handling and passing.
Yeah,
but it has still been a very fun first period.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's the thing. The mistakes out on the ice make for the fun. At least for us fans watching in the stands. Obviously for the players out there, it's not very fun. But it's been all about making those mistakes. It's been all about turnovers, especially as I said in the neutral zone.
I thought you were carrying on.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Sorry, if you want me to vamp a little more.
You're the one who stopped talking.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, the end of the first period, the score is Berkshire Bees 1, Hull Seahawks 1. There are still conversations going on about neck guards down here. So we'll let you know what happens when we come back for the second in about 15 minutes' time. See you in a bit. Welcome back to the hangar just before the start of the second period. And the usual time where I get to look over Annika shoulder and see what the scores are in the National League on her iPad. The Milton Keynes Lightning 1, Swindon Wildcats 1 in the first. It's the Sheffield Steel Dogs, the Solway Sharks 1, Romford Raiders 0. I just saw blue, okay, we've established I'm blind. The Bristol Pitbulls 0, Telford Tigers 1, and it's the Leeds Knights 3, Sheffield Steel Dogs 0. Everybody got that? Here it's the Berkshire Bees 1, Hull Seahawks 1. Shots on goal in the first period, there were 7 on Max Wright, 10 on Dimitri Zamolstra, and Chris, a very even period.
Yeah, very even period. Mistake full period. Hopefully, both coaches. Well, I mean, both coaches will obviously spent the intermission trying to find ways to adapt that and see if for the Seahawks case, it's try and figure out a way past that blue line that doesn't involve a face-off.
But they like the face-offs. I've also been told, apparently, that there have been various discussions, and the Seahawks have been told if another player comes on the ice without a net guard on, they're serving a 10-minute misconduct. Ooh. So, make of that what you will.
10 minutes for illegal equipment, or just 10 minutes?
I've been told of misconduct. Ooh. And another update for Bees fans. Kane Russell, remember him? He's played the one game for us this year. He's got a hat-trick tonight for the Solent Devils down in South 1.
Is that is it still 4-3, or is that ended 5-3?
Just into the final 2 minutes.
It was 3-3 a few minutes ago when I looked at it.
It's now 5.
That escalated quickly.
Usually does.
Yes.
As Dimitri Zamolstra leads out the Seahawks. Zamolstra obviously quite thankful for the save from Jamie Chilcott. Front of the Bees' potentially second goal of the night, I should say.
I mean, it is basically that. It's such an even game that right now that it's basically a game where it was one shove away from being 2-1.
Yes.
Realistically. As the Bees, Max Wright leads the Bees back out, and they will head to the far end of the arena.
Everyone loves the long change.
The question here is having had that rest, will the Bees be able to keep up that high tempo that was working so well for them in the second period? We saw it a few weeks ago. They had that high tempo against the Leeds, and they kind of took their foot off the gas in the second period.
Yes, we all know how that game ended.
Exactly.
She obviously does stand of can they actually keep it going?
if they maintain the defensive discipline they've had throughout the first period, I can see them maintaining it. But
once again, we can only but apologise for the Halloween music, which apparently we are already scraping the barrel with.
well, no, we've had Ghostbusters, and then we've had the sped up version of Ghostbusters already.
And the Adams Family twice already, so
Yeah.
we apologise for you listening at home.
I don't think I've heard Thriller yet, though.
Not yet. The Seahawks win the opening puck drop period number 2. Sobchak stopped immediately at the blue line. Puck played ahead. Chilcott is there. Fired up to Sobchak.
Truth Anika and I were actually before we came back on the air trying to figure out other Halloween songs that could be used.
All of them thrown in on goal from the blue line, cleared by the Bees. Chilcott stops any icing call there, gets there ahead of Hemmings-Mayer. Thrown up the right-hand wall, dumped off to Sobchak. Freeman to move around, fired across to Chamberlain. That pass misses everybody, not kept in at the blue line. Stubley collects. Pass up ahead to Chamberlain. Throw into the corner as the Seahawks complete a change. Barnes calling for the long stretch pass and is nowhere near him. Does take a bounce towards him though. Stopped at the blue line by Hewitt.
Fortunately, I think by the time it might have reached him, he was going to be drifted. He had drifted offside by that point.
Svek with it down low. Ballas putting him under duress. Svek's clearance stopped by a linesman. Stead plays it behind Ballas. Messy spell here in neutral ice. Svek comes away with the puck and then gets dispossessed by Stead. There's a penalty coming here behind the play.
It's a high stick, I think.
Svek did not like the attention he was receiving from Will Stead.
Who is up, looks a little winded.
Slashing is the call on Svek. 21-23. He takes his second trip to the box of the night.
Must admit, I didn't actually see the slash. I was a bit more focused on the foot race that was going on with Vanya Antonov.
It was behind the play.
So let's see.
But there it is,
there.
just on the camera. An update for Seahawks fans watching. At the end of the second period, Hawk Jets 1, Billiam Stars 2 in a top of the table battle in North 2. So the misfiring Bees power play will get a third go for the night.
Third time's the charm.
Svek sits in the box at 21-23.
Third time
multiple penalties now.
So Stead gets slashed and gets a penalty.
And Stead receives 2 minutes for slashing as well. So we're going to stay 5 on 5. You can only assume the Stead one was before it.
So obviously, I would assume Stead has slashed.
And the retaliation.
Svek.
For once, the retaliation has been seen
fine.
as well as what caused it. As Hewitt carries it over the blue line. Thrown across goal, saved by Wright. He'll hold on.
So let's see what everybody can do with all this little bit of extra space now that's been created out there as we were.
What, as we're 5 on 5?
Yes.
You forgot there was no penalties on the
Yes,
board there, didn't you?
yes, I did.
Yep. You were,
like I said,
let's be honest here, Chris, because I can know exactly what you were looking at.
Yeah.
You're distracted by the inflatable Tyrannosaurus costume downstairs.
Yes, I was.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like I said, my Halloween costume tonight is that of someone who pretends to be a hockey analyst.
That's right, I've been doing it for 3 years. Bees carry it over the blue line. Ross bottom loses the handle, but the puck bounces nicely for the Bees. Turnover in front of goal. Hayward camped right in front of the paint, able to just push it aside. Puck down low. Hewitt collects. Pinned against the boards by Stubley. The Bees able to bring it away. Rose. Back to Mogg. Mogg will fire through traffic wider than net this time. No one able to get a touch on it. Spur will clear. Mogg collects his own blue line. Has to wait for the Bees to check up. Tipped ahead by Rose. Kicked away by Hayward. All those games of two-touch finally paying off. Rose takes it out of the pile. Again, scrappy start to this period. Goodbye. Gets stick lifted there by Stubley. Fired off the boards. And offside called as Nags can't quite keep that this side of the blue line.
Oh, we did wonder going into this whether the, as I'm still distracted by the T-Rex costume that is wandering around down there.
We're going to have to get you horse blinkers.
Yeah. I'm sorry, as you know, anything dinosaur, and I'm just like, ooh, dinosaur. Yeah, as we ask going into this period, like, will the teams find a way to rein in the mistakes? And
no, at the moment.
No, at the moment.
Phillips fired off the boards. That's just wide of Bruton. Collected out of the back by Morris. Seahawks again, thrown towards goal, bouncing puck, still loose in front, collected by Sobchak, finally between the hash marks. Spins away from one, across to Chilcott, bounces off the B skate in front, falls to Sobchak at the blue line, thrown towards goal. Wright holds on to that one as he gets a clear line of sight through legs.
Bobby Chamberlain was doing a really good job there of taking up space in front of the net and almost drawing a penalty because the Bees defenseman that was on him did give him a couple of good shoves in the back with the cross check there.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think what we saw last year in the playoffs, in particular from the Seahawks as well, was that they really took advantage of being more physical than the Bees and being hard to shift in front of goal. That's something obviously that they're still going with this year, and the Seahawks are about to go on the penalty. Also on your power play even.
Yep.
Words are hard. It's a tripping call.
Words are hard for you, numbers are hard for me.
23-08, the Bees going on the penalty kill. We see Owen Sobchak drawing penalties for fun. There's another one. Ollie Hemmings-Mayer sits 2 minutes for tripping.
I think he goes to take a stab at where the puck is, but it's kind of a bit too late for that, and it ends up getting stuck in the skate of the Seahawk. And Bees will have to go on the penalty kill now.
Seahawks on the power play this year, 20 goals, 35.09 success rate on the year so far. The Bees penalty kill has only given up 11 goals, 75% success rate. So we've got a power play that scores 1 in 3, and a penalty kill that gives up 1 in 4. One to watch here, obviously mainly the top line. Bobby Chamberlain, 6 power play goals on the year already. I'm going to take a guess that once he is back out, he's going to be camped right in front of net.
And don't forget Dave Phillips as well, camped there at the back end as he lets loose with a one-time slap shot.
Stopped by Wright. So Davey Phillips on his return to Hull this year. Always good over the summer when you can add a current GB international to your roster. Yeah. How do you cover for the absence for the loss of Brock Bartholomew?
You sign a GB international.
You sign Davey Phillips. Must be nice making signings. Seahawks win the draw. Cycle around, Hewitt. Attempted pass to Sobchak is blocked. These will try and break out short-handed with Goodbye. If anything, just to get the puck the other end of the ice for a few seconds. Chamberlain. Puck on his way to Sobchak. Bonner. Loses out, but Hewitt is there on the back end covering. Sobchak will step inside, thrown through the crease, no one there in a black shirt able to get a tip on it. Back to Hewitt again, Bonner. 50 seconds to go on the man advantage. Back to Hewitt, one-timer blocked in front, foot race to the loose puck. It's going to be won by the Bees. Goodbye tries to go back to Will Stead, but Jason Hewitt able to block that one. I think Goodbye's also broken a stick on that as well. It's an expensive night for the Bees. That's 4 broken sticks already.
His stick exploded just as he tried to shovel it across to Stead. He would have had a one-timer there. As Hewitt now from the point fires it wide.
Off pads right. Sobchak collects. Just under 20 seconds to go on a man advantage. See what's 5 forwards out. You think they've got changed to at least 1 D-man in a second. Sobchak gets a stick lifted by Balaz. Able to get back into it. The thing with Owen Sobchak is he is just so fast. Both legs and hands. Pass back door. Saved by Wright again. Kept into the blue line by Hewitt. The Bees return to full strength. Svek steps around Balaz. More puck moving again. Bonner with a shot towards goal. Wright makes the save. Stead goes in to protect the goalie. A whole lot of nothing there as Wright makes the save. Takes a second.
As I always say,
and everyone calms down.
Well, as I say, you play to the whistle. The whistle hasn't gone, but we're going to see it here. Shot comes in, just takes a bounce off the pad. It's loose in front, then it's cleared. That's cleared. That's cleared. That was the opportunity before.
There's another broken stick for the Bees.
I think that might actually still be Dom Goodbye's broken stick.
Yeah, it might be. Well, I said that's 4. I saw him walk off with 3 broken sticks at the end of the first. Yeah. Good night for the supporters club. They'll be getting those signed and sold by next weekend. Bees win the draw.
You get a broken stick, and you get a broken stick. Everyone gets a broken stick.
You don't. Bruton carries it over the blue line. Blows past Josh Kelly, round the back of the net he goes. Looks for an option, tries to go to Studley, but that pass is picked off. B's the other way once again. Puck falls to Hemmings-Mayer. Back high, shot bounces off the pads of Zamolstra, goes all the way back out to the blue line. It's not kept in by Kelly. Seahawks can't get away. There's a sea of humanity in front of that Seahawks blue line, prevents any form of breakout. Hayward chipped ahead. Bonner again held up, shot fired wide from a tackle by, I believe, Jones. That goes up into the netting, might have a break in play.
Just seeing it again there. Just every time somebody gets on the puck, there's always a body there waiting, and Kelly just there with like one of those unlucky bounces that basically that sent the puck out of the zone. He had his stick in the wrong place. If he tries to get it there, try and keep it in, but.
Face off to Wright's right. Cleared out of the zone. B's the other way again. He's kept in the defensive zone. Kept in the blue line by Phillips. B's finally able to break it out. Instead, pushed over. More case of loss of balance than any form of infraction on that one from Chilcott. Pushed ahead, foot race to it between Mogg and Bonner. Mogg gets there first, spins his man down. Icing waved off on that one, Chilcott first to it. Played ahead, Hewitt.
Producer Anik is running me over here. Apparently it's your fault, Joe.
Everything's my fault.
Yeah.
Turn over down low, Rossbottom first to the loose puck. B's with it again. Stead. Over a despairing dive from Emil Svek, brilliantly I should say. Rossbottom shot goes wide. Svek back to his feet after he's had a few seconds doing Snow Angels. Finds Sobchak. Drop pass, Stubley shot off the blocker of Wright, bounces off the glass. B's clear, Antonov one-on-one. It's Antonov versus Hayward with help coming. 3-on-2, drop pass to Gabai across the Rossbottom. Waits too long, has he? Shot saves Zamolstra. Still loose, Rossbottom shot off the stick of Stubley and wide. Waited too long on the chance.
That's really another case of these opportunities that are coming for the Bees where the player just doesn't have the time or takes too long to get the shot away.
Seahawks the other way. Bruton 3-on-2, 4-on-2 even. Drop back to Hayward. Hayward stick handles around one, save from right at the other end.
And absolutely incredible work there from Zamodra. He was so far out of the net, filling the space, making it so that there was no way that the shot could get off.
Pass picked off by Antonov. Fired up to Rossbottom. If anything's taken it away from Balaz, it's played into the zone. Bruton spins away from Balaz, round to Chilcott. Jones helps it on its way, foot race to the puck. Mitchell gets there first ahead of Spur. End-to-end car crash hockey as Hemmings-Mayer dekes his way round Alex Kent. Pass into slot blocked by Chilcott. Falls to Antonov. He's also stopped by Chilcott and sent the way around the net. Kent and Phillips getting in each other's way. Hemmings-Mayer pounces on that one. And Kent finally able to get it clear. No, he's not. Brilliant work from Hemmings-Mayer again. Down low, Antonov with a chance, this time off the chest of Zamolstra. Hemmings-Mayer shot blocked by Spur. And we go again the other way, 3-on-3. Declan Jones fires it on goal. Off the blocker right, he has to push it away from goal as the Seahawks get a change in.
And we need a cylinder of oxygen to the commentary position for Joe here, I think.
I'll take a face-off. Puck chipped ahead, race to it again. B's got it under control almost with Balaz. Stopped brilliantly by McGill. Cathcart pushes it down low. McGill first to it. Roman Cathcart there stops that breakout. Erskine against the boards. Cleared by the Seahawks. Josh Kelly will go back to collect.
I think really on both of those opportunities, Vanya and Rossbottom, they just needed to shoot first time. All right, you might not hit the back of the net, but you might get a save out of Zamodra and you might get a face-off from it.
He's into the zone again. Shot, kick, save Zamolstra. Taylor and Rose battling behind the net for the puck. Finally knocked loose to Hewitt. Steps inside Roman Cathcart. Hewitt still with it, left to right, coast to coast. Around the back of the net, goes to the wraparound, loose in front, poked away. Bees try and clear, and do. Stubley. Fired cross ice to Svet. That bounce takes it away from him, and Wright will hold on. We'll finally get a break with 9:30 to go in the second. And what should be said about Dimitri Zamozdra on these two chances if we're going to see it? Of course, we're not. But the thing he did right there was he went on the attack. He didn't sit back in his crease and allow the Bees to get close into him. And he went out, made a point of closing the angle down and taking all forms of space away.
He already knows every single time he's been in that scenario this evening. He knows the Bees shooter is going to take time to settle the puck and try and get the perfect shot. And every single time he's had the opportunity to just fill that net, take the angle, and there, going aggressive. He totally made it so that there was no way that any Bees player, even if they got just enough purchase for even just to go one time, or was going to get a shot away that was going to beat him in there.
Solchak thrown towards goal, kicked aside. In front, Stubley fires towards goal again. That's blocked and goes into the corner. Morris in a foot race to it, loses out to Chamberlain. Puck all the way back to Hayward at the blue line. Solchak again. Solchak thrown through traffic, saved by Wright. More words exchanged in front between Chamberlain and Morris. And also what's interesting, obviously, where Solchak's positioning is to set up. It's something you're seeing a lot as well in the North American game, particularly the NHL, of the two defenders moving one part at the blue line and giving your best player space to work at the top of it. Solchak then obviously has the option to shoot from that blue line or move into space and create chaos, and he does that very well. If there's a player you want doing that, arguably in this league, it's Owen Solchak.
I mean, we just saw it just there with and if you've got Bobby Chamberlain making that chaos in front of the net, it improves your chances.
Shot back to the blue line, Chilcott. That's straight to the glove of Wright on this occasion. Being a Seahawk falling down in front. Luckily, everyone's up and okay.
And we have, I think, number 5 on the Halloween playlist this evening. Monster Mash rings out throughout the arena.
Unfortunately, you don't have to put up with the dancing at home. I do. Puck loose in front. Cleared only as far as Phillips. Off the boards, Fisher.
Somebody's lost a stick.
Again. Bees try and clear. They just get it out the zone.
Luckily, this one's intact.
Good work from Jones. He flips that one in on goal. Right. Bats that one down brilliantly. Can't clear the zone now. Whistle goes. I believe they've said it's come off a glove on the Seahawks bench. I didn't see it, but there's no arguments being had, so
assumedly it happened. Oh, no, there is a discussion now at the bench. I think the discussion's with, possibly with McLaughlin.
Face off won by the Bees. Mogg round the boards as the Bees try and clear this time. Instead, can't get it past Stubley. Will at the second time of asking. Carried over the blue line. Drop pass for Ross Bonham is behind him, and that'll set Bonner away. 2-on-2 with help coming. Bonner draws a man out, fires from the goal line, saved by Wright. Seahawks definitely getting far more shots in this period. Not many of proper quality just yet, but you get a feeling the dam might burst any second.
Yep, commentator's curse strikes there again, possibly. But on that last play that we just saw, like Stuart Mogg, good sense of presence to realise that the puck was heading in the direction that it was going to basically be played out for a shooting opportunity. Forces Bonner out wide as the Bees now come back
the other way. Drop pass instead over to Ross Bonham. Brilliant poke check from Emil Svek. Breaks that one up the other way. 4-on-3 for the Seahawks. Svek goes to the bench. Bonner with a shot. That's fired over the blocker of Wright. Too many men, and that one is going to be called a badly timed change for the Seahawks. They're launching it into the linesman. There's nothing wrong. There's definitely 6 on the ice. It's just a case of a bad change. They don't like it, but
I've never known a referee to change his mind in this scenario.
I always find it funny that you're complaining about a too many men call when you have 6 men on the ice as well.
Yes.
Which is always good. 32-18 time of the bench minor. The Bees Attempt number 4, maybe? Is 4 the magic number? Who knows?
Fourth time lucky. You ever heard the phrase fourth time lucky?
No.
Good. That's because I just invented it.
It's unfortunate for the Seahawks that the puck was ripped around the boards just at the wrong time they were going for.
I mean, I can see their case that they're arguing that the puck was like it wasn't intentionally put into their bench area. It was just ripped around the boards. But you know, you've still got to have that awareness. Like, you know, it's still the situation of you had 6 skaters on the ice and you know the puck was in the bench area when you changed.
Bees win the draw. Will Stead making camp in front of the net. Vanya Antonov around the boards. Goodbye takes the hit from Phillips. Puck moves down low to Stead as he moves out of position. Stead can't handle that one. Phillips can. Jones will clear. Vanya Antonov almost gets that into his own net from the blue line.
Question, does that count as a shot on net?
No. Moving on. Bees from behind their own net as the Seahawks change.
Stead's waiting for it here at the blue line.
Pushed over to Goodbye. He'll fire it around the boards. Stead plays the hit. That puck knocked loose. Spur held to bat it down and pushes it all the way back to Max Wright. Seahawks change. Paul Goodbye frustratedly goes back to the bench. Rose jumps on. Antonov tries to get past Haywood. He will. Backhanded towards the low slot shot. Brilliant. Saves Zimosra. Rebound. Bobbling puck. Zimosra again. Will Stead with the chance. Zimosra the big save. It bounced off the chest of Ballas, I think.
That was beautiful there from just cuts down the back into Gretzky's office. Puts it in front of net. Zimosra, though, again, just well enough aware of it to put himself in the position to as you say, boink, stop it as it comes in.
Seahawks win the draw. Bouncing puck cleared. And as far as Nags at the blue line, 40 seconds left on the man advantage. Run around the boards. Haywood is there at the blue line. He's going to keep it in the zone, far towards goal. And there's a chance on the breakaway here for Ollie Hemmings-Mayer. Hemmings-Mayer bearing down on goal. Zimosra's to beat, fired wide. As Ollie Nags is bundled down by Lee Haywood behind it. Ollie Hemmings-Mayer collects again as Rossbottom takes the hit. Poke check from Haywood and Bonner will clear.
17 seconds left here on the man advantage.
Rossbottom deposited into the bench almost by Lee Bonner. Puck bounces to Antonov. Antonov will try and draw McGill out of position. Drop pass again. The Ballas tip in front from Rose. Saves Zimosra. Seahawks back to full strength.
I think Bees have identified here they're going for the close range efforts. They're going for looking for the rebound, looking for the garbage goal here.
5.5 minutes to go in a second. Puck held up behind the net. Finally knocked loose. Sobchak dispossesses Ballas. Ballas returns the favour on Bruton. Puck fired across the crease. Off the bench. Adam Erskine shot saves Zimosra. Erskine barreling off the bench for that one. Kept in the zone. Ballas to Antonov. Antonov fires back up to the blue line when no one is in a grey shirt. I'm saying grey, it's probably beige. Erskine has
eggshell.
to take a turn. It's definitely not eggshell.
Hang on, I'll get the
Producers, are we going with beige?
I'll get the Dulux wheel.
You painted your house more recently than I did. What colour are we going with?
Ocean grey or military grey?
I'm not repeating what Nick just said. Taylor fires it clear. Puck bounces back to Chilcott. Kept to the blue line, offside waved off. Antonov, no look pass to Erskine. Down low, Goodbye! Can't get that handle on it and it will go through to Zimosra.
And that's just another example of what's been happening in this period. Bees are just winning so many of the 50-50 battles at the moment, and Goodbye, it comes to him on his wrong side. If that's the other side of the net, that's a one-timer opportunity.
Oh, you probably wouldn't have got it anyway with being left-handed from that angle, but
no.
I've been wrong before several times. Face off to the right as Zimosra won by Hewitt. Phillips.
It's okay. Anyone could mistake Will Stead for Marcel Ballas.
Kept in at the blue line. Fired clear. And icing called. So we'll come the whole way back. I feel like we're in the same position we were about 3 weeks ago when the Knights were in town. It's just a very good 1-1 hockey game. Hewitt wins the draw again, ahead of Goodbye. Phillips round the boards, Goodbye reads it and stops it. Thrown down low, foot race over to the puck, won by Will Stepp, who gives it to Davey Phillips. Fired across to Bonner. Up the right-hand side, 3-on-3 the other way. Bonner steps inside one, tries to drop it down low for Hewitt. Another big missed hit there by the play. That one was not close in the slightest. Hewitt takes on a lap of the boards, lap of the zone, pass Goodbye. Another, well, this one actually made contact. Ollie Nags actually got away with that one.
There's only so many times you can do that lap around the end zone before somebody manages to either poke it off you or lay the physical.
Another big hit from Svek. As the puck is cleared. I think Tim Wallace has the record here with 2.5. Lovely move from Goodbye into the zone. Can't repeat it as Lee Bonner on the back check breaks it up. McGill off the boards to himself. Fired across, deflected ahead by, I was going to say it came off the skate of Chilcott there, but apparently not. As we're coming all the way back. 3:18 to go in the second.
Seahawks still struggling here to try and figure out a way to break out at times.
Hewitt wins a third draw in a row on this long shift for this line for the Seahawks. Erskine keeps it in the zone. Chilcott collects the puck. Fired up the boards to Bonner. That pass blocked immediately. That will allow Hewitt to get to the bench. And Svek and Chilcott. Bees try and catch the Seahawks short. Icing waved off. Roman Cathcart down low. Pass broken up. Rose puts Fisher under pressure. Kicked ahead to Roman Cathcart. Shot from no man's land off the stick of Zamosdra. Taylor, long stretch pass, tipped ahead by Jones, I thought, but no, it's coming back as well.
Thing is here is the Seahawks are doing a good job of winning the face-offs here at their own end, but it's no good winning these face-offs if they're almost instantaneously turning it back over.
It's, I think they've been unlucky with the last couple of them in particular, where it's just been maybe a slight mistiming on it, but you are obviously right, of course, in the fact that constantly putting yourselves on the back end of things as the puck is turned over to Ballas, Hemmings-Mayer. Back to Ballas. Ballas in front, off the glove of Zamosdra. Antonov was carried into the goal. Does that count? Probably not. Human goal, maybe? And another.
No, I don't think it counts. I don't think we have that stat.
A lovely move from Hemmings-Mayer. Ballas' shot off the glove.
I get that. Zamosdra can see that coming all day long. He's already got the angle on it. There's no way that that's going to sneak past him.
Very much set. Pads closed on the floor.
Yeah. But they did do what I've said they need to do, which is they didn't try and get set up for the perfect shot, just took the shot, and they've drawn the face-off out of it, so they can maintain the offensive pressure, which is what they need right now because they are winning the offensive face-offs.
Another big blocked shot from Emil Svek, back to the blue line and Ollie Nags. Down low to Goodbye, under pressure from Hayward. Rossbottom with a tip on goal. Pad saves Zamosdra. Svek sets Chamberlain away. Over to Sobchak, little stop and go behind Chamberlain. Forced to Hayward, finds Chamberlain. Another big save, Max Wright at the other end.
Big save by Wright there after that little bit of sneak by Hayward. Just gets in behind the defence. Nobody knows he's really there. And if it just lands on his backhand, I think if he's able to get that onto his forehand, he's probably better able to control it, and we, might have been able to get a better opportunity off of.
I think at the moment we're looking at both goalies for man of the match here, aren't we?
Yeah. Very much a game that's a goaltending duel at the moment.
Bees win the draw. Seahawks turning over behind the goal. Hayward over to Sobchak, gets his pocket picked by Goodbye. Fired up ice. Stead to Seahawks company. Poke checked away by Stubley.
Minute 40 left in the period here.
Yep, Stubley given time to let the Seahawks get up, set up anyway, not to be delayed offside call. Puck back to Hayward at the blue line. Wrist one towards goal, and that goes through everyone and in, and just with praising netminders, Lee Hayward waits out the goal and fires one in from the blue line, his third of the year.
Well, there's like right there, just right, can't see through the traffic. Moggs blocking the lane, and Hayward sees that and is able to just roof it into the top corner.
Lee Hayward gives the Seahawks lead 38-34. Time of the goal on that one. Like I say, goal number 3 for him on the season. Worked out the 19th season in senior hockey for Lee Hayward. Bees will to carry it ahead. Bars drops off. Hemmings-Mayer. Bring back check again from Hewitt. Bruton towards goal. Bonner with a chance. And saved by Wright. He'll hold on. Getting the assist when we can. Naturally, of course, drums drown out the call of the assist as there's a bit of pushing and shoving in front and getting it. I mean, Wright didn't have it under control. The whistle had gone, and then Hewitt pokes it in. So, yeah, make of that what you will.
Yep. I don't blame Josh Kelly for being a bit aggrieved in that scenario.
Assists on that one coming from Bobby Chamberlain and Owen Sobchak. Point number 30 of the season already. Oh, sorry, point 29, I should say, for Owen Sobchak. Almost 30, jumped the gun. Forgot there's only 2-1, not 3-1. Final minute of the second period. Bees made to rue some missed chances as Antonov throws that one in goal. Zamolstra out of his net to play it. Thrown out to the blue line, finds Bonner who clears. Kelly. Forced back by Bruton. Bees only had 4 on the ice for a second there, so that's a good sign as Antonov tries to play that one up ice and is blocked by Hewitt. Into the corner it goes, fired around the boards. Falls to Antonov, 24 seconds to go. Up the left-hand side, Phillips misses on that hit. Good avoidance there. Shot on goal, saves Zamolstra loose behind the net, thrown in front from Antonov. No one there in a Bees jersey. Thrown towards goal again. Bonner doesn't know much about it, but he'll take it off his skate and launch it the length of the ice. Icing is called, 6.1 on the clock.
Well, this is one of those scenarios now where you have to, from the Bees' perspective, you have to hope you win the face-off and get it back clean to one of your defensemen at the point who can just rifle in an opportunity.
The problem you've got with this, obviously, is Jason Hewitt has not lost a face-off in this second period. At least it feels like it anyway.
I mean, that is the other problem you have to overcome here.
It's a big draw here, 6 seconds to go. And as we say, right on cue, Jason Hewitt wins the draw. Stubley will hold it in the corner. Bees able to bring it out. Shot fired through the crease. Nothing doing, and that will be the end of the second period. A fantastic period of hockey for both teams. The Bees being made to rue several missed chances, thanks to several big saves from Dimitri Zamolstra. They get the go-ahead goal there late in the second from Lee Hayward. And Chris, 20 minutes to go. This game is all to play for.
It's all to play for. It's not over by a mile. If the Bees can just find a way to convert some of these opportunities, it's because it's not like they're not generating them. It's not like they're we've seen in other games for the Bees where chances are hard to come by. They've had a lot of them this evening. They've kept the Seahawks penned up for large portions of this game past the red line. They've been repelling them at the blue line. If they can just find a way to get a one-timer off or draw Zamolstra out of position enough that they can get that angle, they'll get a goal, I think, on this.
Well, we'll find out what's to come in the third period when we're back with you in about 15 minutes' time. Welcome back to the hangar for the third and possibly final period of tonight's game. Elsewhere around the league, the Milton Keynes Lightning 2, Swindon Wildcats 1 in the second, Solway Sharks 3, Romford Raiders 2 in the second, the Bristol Pitbulls 3, Telford Tigers 2 in the second, and the Leeds Knights 4, Sheffield Steel Dogs 0 in the second. Here it is the Berkshire Bees 1, Hull Seahawks 2. Shots on goal in the second period, 16 on Max Wright, 12 on Dimitri Zamolstra. Lots of shots, not a lot of goals. The one coming from Lee Hayward rifled through traffic. And Chris, obviously, both teams giving their all in this. It's been a very good game so far as the Zamboni's still going around and doing a lap with a minute 20 to go on the clock. The Bees are really showing why they are the lowest scoring team in the league with the lowest shooting percentage so far.
Yeah, their chance to conversion ratio has not really been good this
It's about 9.4%. Which I believe 1 on 22 is below 5, so that's going to drop even lower tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, right now all they need really is well, they need to get the next goal. So they need just that one at the moment, and then they need an extra one just because this has the potential to be one of those 1-goal games that gets decided, by
one goal.
By 1 goal, yeah. You can tell I had 2 weeks off.
Nick found it funny.
Yeah.
Like
I said, I'm pretending to be a statistical analysis.
Hey, I'm a commentator.
Sure.
The Seahawks, to their credit, obviously they've generated a lot of net front traffic, to say the least. One of the reasons why that second goal went in was just the sheer amount of bodies in front, playing it with a physical edge, but also keeping it clean for the most part.
Yeah.
I say for the most part before anyone jumps down my throat. It's not saying anything's been dirty, but 4 power plays, one of them obviously not being was a bench minor, 3 power plays.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anybody's done anything dirty, but it's had a physical edge this game. But you've had both sides throwing the body in. I mean, a lot like the Bees players putting their bodies on the line a lot with a lot of shot blocks. But I mean, yeah, just there, the Seahawks found the way to kind of, which is something the Bees haven't really done. The Bees have had a lot of chances from up high, but they haven't really been able to move the Seahawks defenders into a position where they're blocking Zamodra. Whereas, Stuart Mogg was angled into that lane so that, if we saw it on the replay, Max Wright just could not see Hayward's shot coming in until it was too late. And it's kind of a bit of a change-up from the way the Seahawks have been attacking the net. When they've had an opportunity, they hadn't really been going too much from up high up until that point.
They've gone back to what worked in that playoff game back in April. Back in April, it was a case of Bobby Chamberlain and Declan Barman made the blue paint in front of Britton Bruce their home for the evening, and no one was shifting them. They both stood there like twin towers.
Nick's just queued up the replay for us there, as we just saw it.
Yep.
So we're going to see there, Stuart Mogg. He's going Moggy and Rossbottom. They're both going for the shot block. Sorry, but the problem is they're in the position there that Max Wright now can't see what's happening in front of him.
As we wait for the Bees to join us for the third and possibly final period, the Seahawks are back on the ice as Max Wright leads the team out. 21 saves through 40 minutes. So the Bees will be waiting for one of these weekends where everything seems to click at the moment. There's been a case of one good game, one bad game for the last few weeks.
Thing is, I mean, obviously you need as many maximum point weekends as you can get, but if you can get at least one set of 1 2-point game per weekend, it puts you in good stead going for making that playoff qualification. Because then it just means you just need to pick up the odd, the odd overtime win or overtime loss point here and there.
The problem is you're not going to get those points if you can't score more than 3 goals in a game.
I never said my logic was airtight.
No, was it? I think we're at 12 games so far.
I mean,
and the Bees have only scored more than 3 twice.
I mean, because it's very early in the season, obviously, but I feel like at the moment the bar for this Bees team needs to be making sure that they qualify for the playoffs at the moment in 6th, 7th, or 8th.
Emphasis on 8th. Seahawks win the draw. Thrown in down low. Chamberlain tries to find Svek, but it's picked off by Gabai. He'll leave it for Mitchell. Under pressure, turns it over at the Bees blue line. Sobchak tries to go back to the blue line and Chilcott. Just as we say it, Bobby Chamberlain making home in front of goal. That shot from the blue line saved by Wright. Rebound gloved down by Sobchak, playing against the side of the net, and Wright will cover up.
And as we said in the build-up here, to the period, the Seahawks, they're going back to the high stuff again.
Liam Morris given the job of ushering Bobby Chamberlain away from Max Wright's eyesight.
Not an enviable task, that.
No, not a fun one. Face off, won by Sobchak, quickly dispossessed by Liam Morris. His pass is fanned on back to the Canadian. Svek through traffic off the blocker of Wright and into the corner. Phillips first to it. Draws Morris out of position. Chamberlain cycled round to Svek. Back to Sobchak at the blue line. Good puck movement from the Seahawks to start this period. Shot in front. Svek was the man just allowed to take the eyes away. Jumped out of the way the last second, but Wright holds on.
Ballas was doing a very good job there, actually. He managed to move Chamberlain out of the way.
Moved Chamberlain out of the way, and then the other one comes in.
Yeah.
Got rid of one.
This is the thing about the way this the Seahawks team roster is built. They do have a lot of size. They do hit you with a lot of big guys.
Shot off the face-off, saved by Wright. Bonner tries to get to the rebound first. Gets it down to Bruton. Back high again. Hewitt from the blue line. Tip in front from Bruton, takes it over the net rather than into it. Back to the blue line again. Hewitt winds up, fires this one off the shoulder of Wright. Pushed aside, rebound for Bruton. Another save by Wright. He'll hold on the second time of asking. And once again, we're seeing that Seahawks plan of the 2D men moving out wide, creating space for a forward like Jason Hewitt, and he can fire shots through everybody.
But luckily there, Kelly with the sense of mind to, he knew that was coming. He cleared the lane just in time for Wright to be able to make the save.
Face off, won by Don Gabai. Finally, someone beats Jason Hewitt on a draw. Instead,
everybody gets one.
Did he waste it 2 minutes into the third? Instead, loses the puck to Bonner. Svek is dispossessed as well. Run around the boards by Mogg. Allowed to go through everyone. Back to the blue line. Tip from Bonner off the point shot and goes wide of the net. Bruton finds Bonner. No look pass finds Stuart Mogg. Another stick lost in the process. And the boards again. Seahawks still with it. Good pressure from our Yorkshire friends as that shot comes in. Saved by Wright. He gets spun around. Hewitt again on that one. Yep. Carries it around in the zone. Cross to Hayward. Score of that in the moment. The game-winning goal. Puck picked up by Bruton. Near side shot. Saved by Wright. Tries to go to Hewitt as he goes in off the blue line, and Wilstead able to jump in the way of that one. Cross to Gabai. Gabai cuts in off the right-hand side to the front of the net. Shot. That's off the shoulder of Zamosdra, and he'll hold on.
Well, that is a... Gabai moves the entire play right down the other end of the rink. I thought they might actually look to go for a change there, considering how long they've been under the cosh of the pressure, but Gabai instead get it up ice, go for the shot. Zamodra, though, you can see it coming on the tight angle and gets the shoulder in to block it.
Defensive zone face-off won by the Seahawks. Pushed ahead into neutral ice, taken away by Erskine. Ty Cathcart up the boards. Almost gets his pocket picked on the back end there. Rose there to clean up. Fired cross ice. Gloved down by a Seahawks defender. Nags with a poke check away. Birch throws it into the zone. Ty Cathcart gets some ice. Flung in around the boards. Zamosdra watches it coast around the net. Birch first to it. Human pinballs down behind the play. These two Bs go down. Some nice gain by Jones. Throw on goal. Right. With another interesting Max Wright pass. That's become a thing this year already.
If Fisher had been there just a second earlier.
Another quite interesting hit thrown from a Beesford there behind the play. That was Erskine that time as he skates back towards the goal. See what's with it. Shot off of...
I think that was off of the ref.
Off of Hugh Bolton. Emil Svek with a shot. Hit Hugh Bolton and gone towards the goal. Luckily, Wright holds on to it. There's the chance.
How does that count if that banks in off his skate?
I think it goes down as goal Hugh Bolton. Hugh Bolton with the first goal of his career. If it gets
Does that mean the score goes 1-2-1 because it's 1 to the Bees, 2 to the Seahawks, 1 to the officials?
Yeah. Sobchak wins the draw. Shot takes a deflection, foot race to it. Hemmings Mayer beats Chilcott to it, spins his man as well. Mitchell up the wall. Thrown cross ice, kicked away by Svek.
Bit of a problem here for the Bees, I've just begun to notice with these up ice rushes, is they've got the guy on the outside, but they've got nobody up the middle most of the time.
Svek shot straight into the glove of Wright. He'll hold on.
Ah, yes, that age-old Halloween classic from the YMCA.
Spooky.
It's a haunted YMCA. That's why it's Halloween.
Face off won by the Bees. Stead spins away from Bonner. Far across the defensive zone to Kelly. Kept in at the blue line for a second there. Ross Bottom helps up the wall to Goodbye, who's hovering at the Seahawks blue line. Tries to hold Hayward off. Decides he wants to go for a sit down instead. Goodbye.
Just trying to use his momentum to force and body weight to force it through, but just kind of lost that momentum when he ran into the defense.
Ross Bottom fired that one off of the skate of Will Stead. Kelly from centre ice throws it in. Zmolzer has to push it aside. Stretch pass finds Bruton. Shipped ahead. Bees can try and clear. Goodbye plays that off of Hewitt. Bruton. Shot from the blue line. Glove by Wright. Hewitt and Kelly have a coming together that sees Kelly fall to the ice. Both have a good laugh about it as they skate back to the benches. 5 minutes gone, and I have to say, the Bees in a one-goal game not generated anything really offensive so far. They win the draw this time. Erskine will carry it over centre ice. Ducks inside a hit from McGill, and that one is picked up on the back check by Fisher. Flipped on ahead, and icing is called on that one.
Seahawks defence are doing a good job of that closing in that middle lane, making it so that the Bees player, every time they try to, if they do try to cut down to that centre lane, they invariably end up running into a hit check.
Well, if you had 14 minutes 55 in the third, as the time when the Bees loaded the top line up with Goodbye, Balaz and Antonov, congratulations, you win a cookie.
Chocolate chip.
They then immediately lose the draw. Seahawks with it. Goodbye able to win it back, fired into the low slot. Seahawks clear. Icing will be waved off on that one. Kelly back to collect.
It's been one of the themes of this game, though. The Bees have been winning all these 50-50 battles as Mog
is offside on that one.
The Bees have been winning a lot of these 50-50 battles. They've been winning the puck. They've been winning retention of the puck off the face-off. Even if they lose the face-off, they somehow find a way to get it back on a turnover. But they just don't seem to be able to, find that quality finish.
Neutral zone face-off on this one. Goodbye changes out with Ollie Hemmings-Mayer, so clearly just a move for the offensive zone face-off. Sobchak will beat out the icing call. Fans on that pass, one of the very few errors you'll probably see out of Sobchak make in an evening. Kelly plays that one through the legs of Hemmings-Mayer. Seahawks with it, played up the boards. That one will be icing that time as it fires into the crease and Kelly touches the puck. Face off to the right of Zmolzer. 14 minutes to go in the third. Won by the Seahawks. Pushed up to Svek on left-hand wall. Little chip pass finds Chamberlain. Hill goes in, steps inside Kelly, fired across crease. Sobchak gets stopped by Mog immediately. Hemmings-Mayer will take it the other way. Looks for an option, fires on goal. Shot saved by Zmolzer as Antonov pinches in on any potential rebound.
And finds Emil Svek.
Yes, in the middle of a Seahawk sandwich. Good evening. Here's some glass.
I'm not on good authority from JJ Pitchley that the glass around the arena here in Slough does not taste very nice.
What are you trying to say about JJ Pitchley?
No.
I wouldn't tell him said that. Face off on by the Bees. Mitchell fires through traffic. Puck trickling through the zone wide of the goal. Hewitt with a broken stick in front on that one. Or a lost stick. Hewitt and Bonner have swapped sticks. As the puck comes all the way back to Morris. You get a feeling, in the nicest possible way, there's going to be a bit of a height difference between those sticks as they then swap back. A normality for our visitors.
One without enough reach and one with too much reach.
Ross Bottom gets there ahead of Hayward, goes to the wraparound, no passing lane low as they're all blocked up. Morris shot through traffic, trickles off the skate of Stead and towards goal. Zmolzer covers up. More pushing and shoving. The whole defence, big fans of the Ghostbusters jersey, wanting to know where they can get hold of one. I believe you can order them online through the Berkshire.
Yep. Stick goes flying there. I think we're going to see a lot of that kind of scenario though now. I think the Bees have kind of realised that Zimodra's got his eye dialed in at this point, so the only way you really are going to beat him is a dirty rebound off of those pads at close range.
I think even then would be lucky to get that at the moment.
Yeah, the way he's playing at close range, like he's playing a very aggressive defensive game as a netminder in the close range area.
Icing waved off on that one. Jones does a good job beating it out. Pass across the blue line. Hewitt making his home in front of the net. Shot from below the hash marks is off the shoulder, right and wide. Bonner around the net, drops it off for Hewitt. Gets his pocket picked for a second there by Ty Cathcart. Still able to get Jones the puck back to Phillips. Bonner winds up, fires. That one's blocked by Rose. That one's up into the roof. Rose and Bonner.
Bonner is not happy with
a few
Rose.
Words. Face-off will stay inside. And also, they must be said, applause around the rink as we enter the 47th minute of the game.
And the good news is it looks like all the discussions around net guards along the benches has come to a close.
Goodbye, wins the draw. Mog. Fired off the leg of Sobchak. Chamberlain collects a loose puck. He'll skate in. Throws it down. Man pinching in off the blue line is Jamie Chilcott. It's a big block by Stuart Mogg. Mogg flips into neutral ice. Great off break, breaks it down to Adam Rossbottom. Spins away from one Seahawk. Drops it off for Will Stead. He gets dispossessed by Chilcott. Long stretch pass finds Emil Svek. Poke checked away by Morris. That's a size mismatch and a half. Svek uses the power advantage he has to get back on the play. That pass behind Chamberlain out the zone.
Morris, even with the size discrepancy, they're very scrappy, didn't give up, won the puck, got it clear.
3-on-2 the other way. Seahawks bearing down on goal. Lovely finish from Owen Sobchak. The angle of that is not going to do it justice. How on earth has that gone in?
Max Wright.
48-22, 3-1 Seahawks.
I don't think Max Wright knew where this was. Sobchak sneaks it. He cuts across the... Oh, no,
oh my word.
He fires it top cheddar. That's an insane angle to fire it.
Now that's point number 30 for Owen Sobchak.
The way it landed, I thought that had snuck through his legs.
No. Somehow found a gap high over the shoulder and under the bar. And Owen Sobchak gets goal number 10 of the season. 10 plus 20. In only 12 games. Bonner down low. Hewitt. Studley tries to find a man in a black shirt. Bruton bouncing puck towards goal, picked off by Morris. Hewitt loses an edge. Hemmingsmayer tries to get through Studley. He'll set Balaz away. Balaz in on goal, tries to draw a man out. Antonov with a shot, that's off the cuff of Zamoldra's glove. Sobchak from Chamberlain and Haywood, the Seahawks' third goal. And Chris, if it was a molehill the Bees had to climb in the start of this period, it's now a mountain.
Yeah, they just haven't really kept up that intensity that they had in the first couple of periods. I don't know whether they're feeling the length of it now, length of the game. They're getting a bit tired maybe, but they're not winning. They're not winning the 50-50s that they were anymore. The Seahawks have kind of worked out how to avoid the interceptions that they were causing at the blue line.
Bonner blows past Nangs to the front of the net on the backhand. Max Wright with his pad firmly entrenched against the post. Scramble in front between Rose and McGill. The puck is cleared the other end. Fisher gets there first. His clearance picked off by Roman Cathcart. No look pass to no one in a brown shirt.
Oh, they're brown.
I'm picking different colours each time. Seahawks again at speed into zone. Lovely move again from Sobchak. This one saved by Wright off the back of the shoulder. Chilcott down low again.
He's so dangerous. He just hits you with that burst of speed, like especially on, like the cutting on the inside, and just has such a fast release that you don't know where it's heading.
You'd feel really silly if you were a National League team that let him go.
Twice.
Penalty coming here on the Bees. It's a very delayed call, but I think it's the right one nonetheless.
I think
Sobchak drawing another one.
Sobchak was failed.
I'm surprised it took them so long to put their arm up.
I'm surprised. I saw it happen and I was like,
And finally it's going to be called 50-55, the time of the penalty. 2 minutes for tripping on Adam Erskine. So Seahawks back on the man advantage. They looked very good on the first chance, but didn't get the goal. But he's going to get lucky again as the puck moves around to Svek. Svek with a shot fired over the bar, kept in at the blue line by Sobchak. 5 forwards on the ice for the Seahawks. Hewitt back to Svek, fires the cannon, and saved by Wright. Can't say Emil didn't put his all into that one as he ends up on the ice. I think I should also say this now. Because I don't know if he's going to get a goal. So there's still 8 minutes to go. Emil Svek, best goal graphic in the league. I do not care.
By far.
By far.
By
it
far.
wins. Hands down. End of. No discussion. I don't know what the Bees ones are. I only ever see the same 3 every week.
And even then, you're not sure who's who. Sorry, John.
Hey. You can be replaced, you know.
I know, I am next week.
No, you're not. I'm on my own. Seahawks with 1:15 left on the man advantage. Puck across the ice to Bonner. Sobchak drops it off for Hewitt. Svek wide open on the face-off dot. Backdoor chance. Sobchak waits his man. Brilliant save by Max Wright again through traffic. How he saw that through Bobby Chamberlain, I will have no idea. Antonov stretch pass. Bounces over Balaz's stick to Sobchak. At least I know what a 1-goal game is.
True.
Sobchak down low. Into the low slot. Bonner with a chance. Good stick in the lane there by Goodbye. Breaks up the scoring chance.
You don't hire me for my mathematical acumen.
Svek. Poke check by Goodbye. Foot race to it. Goodbye. Hewitt. Zamosdra wins the draw and fires that off the boards. Gets away with it. Somehow going to work the other way. Sobchak. Room trying. Hold down again by Balaz. How's that not a penalty? Now it's called. Once again, there's a very delayed call on that.
Delayed penalty call.
No, but the arm just went up really late. It's like James Irons took a second to think about it. Everyone else had stopped and then called the penalty. 52-28. Marcel Balaz skates to the box.
And that is not a popular call with the fans in the arena, but unfortunately,
I don't get why.
Very blatant call.
Very obvious. 2 minutes for something.
Tripping? I'd say tripping. Hang on.
Owen Sobchak is now having words with...
Sobchak wants that somebody.
Sobchak is going in the box as well. Okay, well this is going to be very interesting then. Sobchak didn't retaliate on that one.
No.
So let's all wait and see what the penalty is.
Are we going 4 on 4 or 4 on 3 here?
It's still going to be 4 on 5. The Seahawks are still going to be on the man advantage for 27 seconds. But the face-off is going to neutral ice. I'm going to assume 2 minutes for tripping on Marcel Balaz.
Yeah.
But what did Owen Sobchak just get?
I mean, it's either... the only thing I think is either abuse of official or something that we didn't see off the play.
We'll wait for the call. Here we go. The Seahawks cycle round. Phillips. Sobchak gets 2 minutes for diving. More on that in a second.
Yep. Oh, Morris has gone down with Bonner in front of him. Morris is not getting up.
He is down in a prone position. This should be stopped, but it isn't. This could be bad.
Oh. Sorry.
I mean,
sorry, everyone yelling on the mic like that. Though.
Morris is back up to his feet anyway. He does not look good. As the puck leaves the zone.
Yeah.
Very, very questionable officiating there to let that play carry on as Morris tries to skate back to the bench. He's now just trying to take people out. And now he's taking a penalty out of frustration. And Svek wants to have a go at him. This is a mismatch and a half. Here's Lee Haywood. Here come the handbags. Wilstead with Lee Haywood in a headlock. Morris and Svek is still shouting at Morris. Morris is making his case at James Irons. Lee Haywood has now gone for Dom Goodbye. Dom Goodbye has gone for... Dom Goodbye has missed a punch on Lee Haywood, and Lee Haywood has thrown himself to the floor. If you want a dive, there it was. Lee Haywood scrambled around the back of the net. This is... Can we just have a normal hockey game for it?
I suspect Goodbye is possibly going to get a sucker punch penalty there for that one.
I always believe with a sucker punch you actually have to make contact, though.
I would agree, but it depends how the officials see this.
So, 53-24. There's penalties coming. Liam Morris, we know, is going to get 2 for slashing for what one is a bonehead slashing penalty, as he just tried to draw a stoppage.
I mean,
Morris obviously frustrated at the fact that there was no break in play after he was poleaxed in front of the crease.
You can understand, considering he was down prone and there was a slap shot about to be. That was why I suddenly reacted the way I did.
We both did. I even saw Annika jump, but she's facing a screen.
Yes.
I'd love to be able to help you with the penalties here, Annika, but frankly, I'm not going to have a clue. 53-24 is the time. We're still waiting for the last one. Marcel Ballas was called 2 for hooking, Owen Sobchak 2 for embellishment. This is the point I was going to make. I was going to come back to it. I don't understand how you can call a penalty for hooking and also say it was a dive, because surely if it's a dive, it's not a hook. Much like how in football you call a dive and not a foul.
I've only ever seen anything similar to that many moons ago when there's a
but they can see Morris down in front of the crease. The penalty box door opens. And there's the shot where it's...
I mean, if that's a few inches in the other direction...
I can understand Morris's frustration with the play being allowed. I've always known if a player's down in a prone position like that it should be...
Thing
Here is the goodbye Haywood thing. Well, Haywood turns, throws a punch at Dom. Oh, and there you go from that angle. Dom does catch him.
Yeah.
This could get very messy. Well, DOPS, I hope you're looking for some fun tonight.
Dops assemble. I think the only other time I've ever seen the hook, like an embellishment penalty along with the actual penalty call, was I remember it was a Blaze game. Dan Carlson was in on an empty net and got hooked and went down, and it was
the Bees penalty box door is open.
Marcus Mitchell is going in? Right.
Marcus Mitchell has gone in.
So either that, I would assume Mitchell is serving something for somebody?
Marcus Mitchell wasn't on the ice.
That's Stead, obviously, there.
There's the punch from Haywood. There's the punch from Goodbye. Dom Goodbye, if anything we learned from the DOPS, is probably looking at, what was it, a 4-game ban now for that? Was it 3? I can't remember what it was in the official thing. I think
it's 4 or 3.
But if that's been called on Marcus Mitchell, there's a joke there about officials and glasses.
Yes.
Here we go. 53-24. Lee Haywood. 2 for roughing. 2 plus 2 for roughing on Lee Haywood. For the Bees. Liam Morris, 2 for slashing, I think has been called. That's the penalty we knew was coming. Will Stead. Will Stead gets 2 minutes for holding Lee Haywood in a headlock.
Interesting.
Marcus Mitchell. Marcus Mitchell has just got a 2 for roughing for Dom Goodbye punching Lee Hayward in the face.
Okay, Nick, did your cameras get anything else that we missed?
No, we saw the lot. You can count up who was on the ice there. I mean, I hate that we have to do this every week, but that is an error again.
I mean, insert joke about officials and Specsavers.
Dom Goodbye probably shouldn't even be in the game, and he's still here on the ice. Seahawks with it on the power play. Shot saved right. Chamberlain with a chance in front. Dom Goodbye able to poke it away.
I mean, the only possible explanation is that Irons and Poulton have gone, well, his number had a 3 in it.
Frustratingly inconsistent as always. Bees turn it over down low. Chance in front for Antonov, short-handed. That's wide of the net. 6 minutes to go in the third.
And we're going to struggle to beat Zamodra from that close range.
Svek carries it over the line. Mogg loses a stick. He's going to use his body to block this one as Wright makes the save. As Chamberlain cuts inside.
Mogg there, I think, wondering for a second whether it was in his kit, not Wright's, but...
So we tick under 6 minutes to go. 1:13 left on the Mitchell minor.
I mean, I will point out, obviously, like the Mitchell minor, it's wrong. It shouldn't be Marcus Mitchell, but at the same time, what a stroke of luck for the Bees, realistically, that Dom Goodbye is not the one sitting those penalty minutes. I can only assume that Dops will end up correcting all of this potentially. But
will be interesting.
Yes. But I mean, that all doesn't start if that slash.
If the shot when Morris is down just in front of the blue paint isn't allowed.
Yeah.
Svek. Right, we've all recovered from a rather bizarre 60 seconds of hockey as the Seahawks go to work on the man advantage. Bonner finds Svek again. They're queuing up on the blue line for the Seahawks. Phillips to Svek, fired across. Absolute thundermuffin from Jason Hewitt on that one. Even he's laughing a little bit at that one. Ooh. Rose fires that one off of Pavel Olchak. That may have caught him somewhere painful by that reaction. Seahawks into the zone. Hewitt.
Rose immediately skates over and apologises before quickly hopping off for a line change.
Svek. Phillips stands on that pass. Goodbye, breaks it up. Mogg looks at the stretch pass. Brilliantly gotten back in the play there by Phillips. He then fires it back off Stuart Mogg, receives the return pass, and Phillips again bounces it off Stuart Mogg into the corner this time. Chamberlain, Pavel Olchak is very hurt at the moment. Goodbye with the poke check, gets it out the zone. Bees return to full strength. 4.5 minutes to go.
Marcus Mitchell has served Dom Goodbye's debt to ice hockey.
Well, his debt for tonight. Whether or not he survives the night, we don't know. Nags. Shot fired wide by Roman Cathcart. Scramble for it down low. Seahawks able to turn it over. You've got to think that one is going to be sent to DOPS after the game.
Potentially, but I mean, from a Beast perspective, you don't really particularly want Dom Goodbye being...
they don't have a say in the matter of Hull wanting it reviewed, though, do they?
No.
Hull, speaking of them, will barrel away up the ice over the blue line. Lovely move. Owen Bruton gets the goal. James Spur with a lovely stick handle from north of the face-off dot. Fire to a crashing Bruton, and he ties the game. Right, ends the game. 56-18, 4-1 Seahawks.
Tic-tac goal. Spur and Bruton just down the ice. It's a lovely little cross ice play, and he has to just poke it there past Wright, who does have it covered, but just can't get there quick enough to get the glove on the shot.
A spur of the moment pass there from the Seahawks, number 14. 3:42 to go. Seahawks win the draw, chipped ahead. Icing called on that one. So we'll go the length of the ice the other way.
Unfortunately, that goal really starts at the other end of the ice with nobody really. There's had Van Ranjanov here in the bottom corner. He's won the puck. There wasn't really any Bees players there with him giving support.
Face off to the right of Zamolstra. One by the beads. Mog. Shot blocked by Bruton. Fires into the far corner, or near corner from your angle. Seahawks finally able to bring it away from the pile. Loses out to a poke check from Will Stead. Knocked out the zone. Kelly fires cross ice to Mog. Turned over again. Kelly, fantastic job of keeping that one in the zone. Dropped across. Antonov shot off the stomach of Zamolstra again. And apart from that first one, probably the first shot he faced in that first period, he's been an absolute wall.
He's probably the first shot of any real quality he's faced in a while in this period. But again, Antonov has to get set up, and by the time he's got set up, Zamolstra has already pretty much positioned himself.
Seahawks, it's just a case of closing this one out, taking the cut points, and going again tomorrow when these sides meet up in Hull. Seahawks try and break out again. That one stopped this time by Erskine. Svek gets there ahead of Cathcart. Mitchell keeps that one in the blue line, or is it Dom Goodbye, as we now know? Thrown in front of the crease, Seahawks able to clear. Svek across to Sobchak. Sobchak, that one fired wide of the net this time. Chamberlain able to get there ahead of Mitchell. Svek making camp in front of the net, shot off the skate of Svek, saved by Wright once more. Final 2 minutes of the game as Morris carries it over centre ice, thrown in on goal. Zamolstra kicks that one aside. Antonov cuts inside Hewitt. Decides he's going to try and do it himself as he goes over the blue line. Pass across to Balaz is blocked. Seahawks the other way. Bonner. Back up to the blue line and Chilcott. Antonov able to jump ahead of him. And that will draw a penalty. So the Bees will have a chance to maybe save some face. 2 minutes of hooking, 58-36. Jamie Chilcott heads to the box.
I mean, it's the only play Chilcott can really make here, because if Vanya's got the speed there, and if he gets by, he's done him potentially on a breakaway chance. It's the only way to really stop that.
So the Bees power play that has been misfiring all night will have another go at it. Win the draw. Cross ice. Pass broken up. Pass fanned on by Dom Goodbye. Could be Marcus Mitchell, who knows. Stuart Mogg. Goodbye. Cross ice. Balaz picked off before he could get there. And just thrown in at the blue line. Mogg collects. So we enter the final minute of the third. Balaz over to Goodbye. God bless Danny Percher for trying to get the Bees fans to chant at that one. Goodbye, shot through traffic, blocked and goes wide. Stead. Just shouts of shoot coming from the fan base now. Balaz.
Trouble is, it's
tries to cut the angle down.
It's
go for the Michigan at this point. Back to Goodbye. Shot takes a deflection up into the netting. 24 seconds to go.
Yep, go for the Michigan. You've tried everything else this evening. I mean, it's all well and good, yelling shoot, 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 but they're not just cycling it out of some attempt to frustrate fans. They are actually looking for a good lane. They're looking for a gap. They're looking for an angle. They're looking for enough net that they think they can get it past the Modra. And the Seahawks defense at the moment is just doing a brilliant job of closing up that lane so well that they just can't see any net.
Bees win the puck battle behind the goal. Under 20 seconds, back to Mogg. Shot tipped in front, wide by Antonov. Shot from the goal line, fired through the paint and out the other side. Goodbye, back to Mogg as we enter under 10 seconds. Antonov crossed it goodbye. One final save for Dimitri Zamolstra. He'll hold on. 2.6 seconds to go. Seahawks are going to take the 2 points home tonight. Don't need to be a math major like Chris to work out that 3 goals in 2.6 seconds is highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, but not impossible.
Well, it is now as the buzzer goes. As the Berkshire Bees fall to defeat here tonight. The Hull Seahawks take the 2 points back up to Yorkshire in the league and cup. Final score, Berkshire Bees 1, Hull Seahawks 4.
Bobby Chamberlain now having a discussion with the timekeeper's bench about time.
I believe the technical term for what he's doing is point chiseling. Either that or he's trying to point out that that wasn't Marcus Mitchell. No, he's definitely point chiseling. Yes, it was scored Chamberlain, assisted Chamberlain, and assisted Chamberlain, that 4th goal. We'll stay with you for man of the matches. Obviously, the sides meet again tomorrow. We'll check frantically on the NIHL national website to see anything else is going on. Milton Keynes Lightning 3, Swindon Wildcats 2 in the 3rd, Solway Sharks 5, Romford Raiders 4 in the 3rd, Bristol Pitbulls 3, Telford Tigers 3 in the 3rd, and Leeds Knights 4, Sheffield Steel Dogs 0 at the end of the 2nd. Chris, obviously the Seahawks, they ground it out in the end in that 3rd period with 2 very good goals. A very solid performance from the side.
Things just seem to get away from the Bees in that final 3rd. Seahawks just finally worked out. They finally solved the problem that they've been having for the first 2 periods, which was how to make offensive pressure, but also, generate offensive pressure without a face-off, and then also they found the way to score goals, which I mean both sides were struggling with for the entire game, but the Seahawks, they weren't really getting what they're used to. One of the notes I had on them before going into this game was every highlight pack I watched, they didn't score an ugly goal. And to be fair, this evening they didn't. Again, not one of those I would describe as an ugly goal. But the difference was a lot of them I saw would be always coming from high in the face-off circle. And it became quite clear early on that the way the Bees' defence was set up, they weren't going to allow that. So they worked higher to get those opportunities.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a split second here on this one.
Go on.
I don't know if it's been updated properly.
What have I done wrong this time?
Oh no, it just has. Shots on goal in that 3rd period, 11 on Dimitri Zamolstra, 19 on Max Wright. For a minute there it said 19-0 and I was about to go mad.
So there you go. And I don't know whether it was just tired legs or whatever it was, but the Bees, they did seem to drop that intensity that they had for the first couple of periods that had really allowed them to hang in there. And I think realistically that the incident with Morris kind of took a little bit more fight out of them at the end as well.
Yeah, obviously the answers on the postcard for how you managed to get Dom Gabay and Marcus Mitchell confused, other than a 3. See, numbers are hard, aren't they, Chris?
Yes.
Give them stick, not me for once. Man of the matches this evening.
Yeah, but you're my mate, they're not.
yeah, you go say it to Bobby Chamberlain, we'll see how long you last.
I don't want to die.
Man of the matches tonight, firstly for the Hull Seahawks. You could have picked a lot of people, but we've gone with Dimitri Zamolstra. Yeah,
we've gone with the obvious choice.
Yeah, you could have picked any of the forwards for the Seahawks as well, David Phillips.
Could have picked Chamberlain, could have picked Sobchak.
29 saves on the night for Dimitri.
Who appears to be heading off.
Yes, they're doing it here because obviously they're doing a shirt presentation tonight. Makes it easier for everybody.
Yeah.
Zamolstra taking the man of the match beers.
For a second there,
Trust me, there is beers.
For a second there, I was like, where is he going?
The Seahawks
He's gone rogue.
The Seahawks go for their lap of honour tonight to the fans of Stade and the fans who've travelled down from Yorkshire this evening. Don't forget these 2 teams meet tomorrow in Hull. And Seahawks fans, if you've joined us here in the building or here on the stream, thank you. Hope you've enjoyed your evening. One more trip down here this year, and it's not until February. Saturday the 22nd of February, to be precise, again, 6:30 face-off. I'll definitely be here. Chris maybe, depending if he can be bothered to go to watch Stretton play. Wherever they are.
Is that one of my maybe games?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, but I might go to Swindon.
But this is what happens when you sign someone on a two-way. You know, they're sometimes
and
unavailable.
You'll find two ways can be cancelled. Failure to perform. As we have
I won't argue with that.
Shirt off the back.
I was terrible this evening.
Only this evening. Well, I think it's just another presentation. It's not the shirt off the back. I don't even know who the shirt off the back is tonight. Presenting the Ghostbusters jerseys this evening as well.
I think it's a choice between Dan Rose and I can't remember who the other player is.
Might be Lee Morris. Who knows? All I know is I've been doing this 3 seasons now. We really, really, really need to stop doing Halloween jerseys.
It is Liam Morris.
Yeah, we really need to stop doing Halloween jerseys. I am 0 for 3 on Halloween shirts. We've had Day of the Dead, lost to Romford. We've had the Fred B. Krueger, lost to Sheffield. Ghostbusters, lost to Hull. Let's just can it. We should have done Remembrance Day. As Dan Rose steps forward for his shirt off the back.
Are we going shirt
There's
by
2.
shirt?
I know, I think there's just 2. Yeah, we wait for the Dan Rose shirt off the back presentation. I will say this, they're still nowhere near as bad as those awful, awful Oktoberfest lederhosen.
I mean, yeah. No, I don't think anything...
As we move on to man of the match for the Bees this evening, in a very similar vein of things, we went with the most obvious one. It's Max Wright. 41 saves as he faces 45 shots again to boost that shots against average up even higher. And again, Chris, it's a 4-1 game. If there's no Max Wright in goal,
it's more than
much, much more.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can point to the basic statistics and go, yeah, but he led in 4 goals. But if it wasn't for so many of those 41 saves, this game would have been a lot more. Like, it would have been further out of reach of for the Bees than it was at the end of the day.
Wright obviously has to throw a signed bucket hat into the crowd. He goes to the first possible one he can find and does. The Bees back in action tomorrow, as I say. They go to Hull tomorrow night. The long trip up to Yorkshire, to the side of a river that will not be named, as they go for lap of honour to the fans that have stayed. The Bees are back here at home next Sunday, 6 o'clock face-off, which are the worst, as we welcome the Romford Raiders to town in what used to be called the No Name Derby, but we've got to come up with a new one now.
I thought it was the Everyone Active Derby.
Well, we liked the No Name Derby last year. 6 o'clock face-off here for that one. If you're joining us, 5:15 live on the air. Chris, thank you for joining me as always. Have you enjoyed yourself this evening?
As always, I've enjoyed myself, mate.
Good. You're fired again. 1 week ban for excessive use of jokes. We'll be back me and Nick will be back here with you on 5:15 next week. So, if you're going to Hull tomorrow, enjoy yourselves. If not, have a good weekend. Have a good week. Don't forget the clocks go back an hour. Extra hour in bed. Yippee. An extra hour to remember this game. See you next week, everybody. Bye.